and Carmelo Anthony situation. So I'm trying to get through a lot of this because we're going to have to spend a lot of time on that situation. But it wouldn't be a show without giving our girl some airtime. And I'm just going off of John Kennedy. John Kennedy said the play is Operation Let Her Speak. So we're going to let Jasmine speak. So this was the latest clip that Jasmine had to say.
The reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies. The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies. And the same can go for the hospitality industries, where we have so many of those in the hospitality industry that are saying they do not have the workers that they need right now. Realm. So I am telling you that this is a failed thing, but we've got to do better to connect the dots and let people know the reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies.
So the reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies.
The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies.
The reason you can't afford groceries is because of these failed immigration policies.
And the same can go for the hospitality industries.
The reason why you're not going to be able to afford going to a restaurant is because of these failed immigration policies. So I just have a question for Ms. Crockett. Was the reason I couldn't afford a home 3 months ago and the reason I couldn't afford groceries 4 months ago, was that because of Donald Trump's failed immigration policies, or was that because of Joe Biden's failed immigration policies? Is the reason why we had to pay so many taxes, is that much in taxes, because of Donald Trump's failed immigration policies, or Joe Biden incentivizing people to come over here illegally and us having to pay for their groceries, us having to pay for their education, us having to pay for their housing, right? So I'm just trying to figure out how we've had these same problems. People have been complaining. Literally, they were campaigning. If it wasn't an issue, then the same way that Hakeem Jeffries started off this show and saying that Donald Trump promised that he would get prices down and he would address inflation. The entire reason why Donald Trump and Kamala Harris were going back and forth on who was going to fix the economy, because it was already broken, because prices were already high on all these things that she just mentioned. Kamala Harris just happened to be in the White House while all this stuff was going on. You heard CNN. They said that inflation hasn't dropped since COVID. Well, who was president in the beginning of COVID? So I'm just trying to make all this stuff make sense. She has no, like, this is what's so crazy about this stuff. And this is what happens when we only look at one side. She's literally saying that Trump hasn't been in office for 100 days. He hasn't been in office for I don't even think he's been in office for 3 months yet. Maybe just 3 months. If he hasn't been in office for 100 days, then how, like, sorry to interrupt the video. We got a new challenge. 20,000 by the end of April. We fell short in March, but we're going to get our goal this month. Thank you all in advance for those that are going to continue to like, subscribe, maybe even leave some comments and let us know how we're doing. And on that note, let me let y'all get back to the video, and I'll see y'all soon. Are these Trump's policies, or are these Biden's policies? I'm just trying to make it all make sense. So we'll finish up this part and then move on.
Where we have so many of those in the hospitality industry that are saying they do not have the workers that they need right now. Realm. So I am telling you that this is a failed thing, but we've got to do better.
All right. G, funny as that. Like, it just doesn't even make sense to me. I'm gonna be totally honest. And what it does is, and this is the problem. This is the problem when you can create so much hatred. There's so much hatred and division in our country right now, to the point where it doesn't matter what Jasmine Crockett says. It doesn't matter what AOC says. It doesn't matter what Bernie says. It doesn't matter what Ayanna Pressley says. It didn't matter what Joy Reid says, because they got her out of there. But I'm just trying to think about the people that, and Joy Reid is a little different. She's a political commentator. But it doesn't matter what these people say. People will align with them and get behind them. Shout out to one of my bros that was on the show a couple shows ago. It's like he gives a different side to all this. And the different side clearly shows that there's some people that will just align with Jasmine Crockett and whatever she says just because they hate Trump so much. And that's when we're all in trouble. When common sense goes out the window, when logic goes out the window, and we prioritize our emotional feelings towards one candidate or another, it does not work in our favor. It just doesn't. All right, let me I see the comments. G wrote, yeah, Bill Gates, Fauci, Klaus Schwab, etc. walk freely. This to the earlier point. I got you. I know exactly what you're addressing. Yeah, right. Little Miss Full of Crockett. She is the Lulu. How does that even associate? I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all. They make it so obvious that they have no idea what they're talking about. Hope I got the pronouns right on that. Yeah, they, all of them over there. Even if it's one person, the group. Yeah, the one person. Yeah. New word, jazz. All right, let's move on. All right, what do we have next? Hold up. Oh yeah, wait, I already did the billboard. All right, so now we can get into. Can we get into the main combo? All right, yeah, let's get into it. Oh no, all right, one more. So one more thing. I want to play. Do I have time? All right, so there's a 2-minute video. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Angela Stanton, but I think this is a good reminder. I think this is a good reminder for us because when we paint somebody in a particular picture for so long, sometimes we can forget some of the other things that they do. It's almost like you complain about your girl, you complain about your boyfriend, you complain about all these different things. You tend to focus on the negative aspects rather than the positive. So we do this in our day-to-day life, but the problem is when we then, and it's a problem in our day-to-day life at times as well, but when we use this same approach when it comes to our politicians and people that we're putting in position to make certain changes that are going to impact our lives and the country and society, it can be a problem. So sometimes you need a reminder of who somebody is based on facts rather than based on somebody who's trying to get you and convince you to hate them. Ew, it's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.